You see me?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Check it out. We got Random on the phone on that one. You gonna say hi, Random, and look at my friend, frankly.
Damn, that shit looks like a bright screen that doesn't translate well on the camera.
I'm checking.
Damn, I wish I could see my friend Random.
Podcast experience of a lifetime. Meanwhile, I'm trying to make some single art.
Yeah, Random's working on my single art for my single following the logic. It's my single. It's the single following the logic. It's my single for following the logic, my song.
Wait, are you recording already?
Absolutely, bro. You're on the best motherfucking average podcast, motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
I gotta go.
Goodbye, Random.
Goodbye, my friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Random.
Goodbye. 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 What's going on, Mr. Flank?
Smoking, chilling. I just wanted to make sure that everything was running on this shit.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's such a good idea to make sure that everything was running. So why were you like 27 minutes late even after that?
I didn't realize that you start right on time when you say ready. You know, when you message people, ready? Question mark.
What the fuck else would ready mean?
To get into the fucking call and then to go ahead, see, start everything. But I know that the Best Average Podcast is like no format. I didn't realize that it was this unsteady. Goddamn, my boy. True.
Hold on, motherfucker. There's a format. There's a format, bro. It's a Zoom call, bro. What are you talking about? There's no fucking format. This is a fucking format, bro. That's not funny,
Yeah.
bro. It's a Zoom call. That's the format, bro. We're in a Zoom call. You feel me?
The Zoom call is not the format, Marvin. The Zoom call is, in fact, the venue for the format. That is the podcast that you put up as a piece of work, Marv. And you gotta let your guests know, goddamn, baby, I thought this was against your boy Dante. Shout out to Dante Elefante.
Shout out.
No, but yeah, like, you know, you gotta, if you're gonna give better attention to your guests, my boy, you gotta give them some leeway. You know what I'm saying?
I gave you leeway, bro. I was like, Frank, you ready, bro? And you're like, yeah. And then I sent you the link, bro, and you're like, oh, hold on a second, I gotta go take a shit and then get high and then fucking fuck with my camera and then set up my mic.
Wait, are you really recording, or is
Yeah,
that?
ready, bro? We're already on, bro. We're like 20 minutes into the Best Average Podcast on this one. Welcome to the Best Average Podcast, Mr. Flankford.
Hell yeah. So, how's your day been, Marv?
It's fucking terrible, Frank. I don't know. It's just whatever. It's normal. I was just working and shit, and then I got off work, and then I had a bunch of work to do, and I still have work to do, so I'm going to be doing some work over the weekend, and now I'm here with you on the Best Average Podcast.
Hell yeah.
How about you?
Well, everything's all right. I mean, I was just trying to make sure that everything was going all right on the hardware end before I got onto the call. I didn't know that it was just going to be right off the bat, right into everything, Marv. I didn't realize. Should I apologize, or should you apologize for not giving, like, you know, like, not just leeway, but like, I guess, what do you call it? You know, like, you give people some
You're talking about
a heads up. Yeah. So you already know what I'm talking about. Is this like a device to put people on the spot, or like, what's going on here?
No, the whole fucking thing is supposed to be about just being comfortable, bro. Like, bro, like, if you call somebody...
Hold on, Marv. That puts people uncomfortable. Is this real? Is this a bit? Or, like, are you, like...
It's just not a bit,
like,
right?
for real? Are you really recording? Because that's a little strange, Marv. Do you do that to every guest? Does every guest do that? Steven,
I don't know what
Andrew?
you mean do that, bro. Like, that's the part
that... No, because, like, you're telling me that you recorded before the guest even gets onto the screen. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude. Well,
because... Look, this is how I did. Look, because, okay, for everyone's attention, if this is gonna go up at all, I was doing like Null AM and shit, and like on Null AM, that was like some podcast, you know, like for music, but it was just bullshitting really, and it was a device to like test out doing a podcast. Okay. But how I did Null AM, Marv, was I made sure everyone was in attendance, especially the guests that I brought on and asked to be on. And then I say, okay, is everybody ready? Is everybody's shit working? Even if my shit wasn't the top as, you know, like maybe it's better now. It's not the top, but it's like better now than it was before. Like if that shit wasn't working for anybody, I'd let them know, okay, get that shit working. Or like, I'm gonna get my shit working. Do whatever you gotta do. And then once everybody's really ready, we record. You don't just like go into the episode without the guest if you're gonna bring on a guest. I don't know.
Why
I mean,
not,
what do you think
bro?
about that, man?
It's fine, bro.
I
Like,
mean, if you want to do that, sure. If that's your decision to do, and you could put this up if you'd like, I'm already here. But I mean, I'm just telling you, bro. That's how you compete with Dante Elefante. God damn, baby. I thought you were doing a little better than that. I thought you were gonna give some heads up, baby. Just
what
like, you
am I
know.
doing?
All right, let's start recording. And okay, so I don't know if you ever found the footage yet, because I asked you too before, like days before
Yeah.
this.
There's
The test footage for this,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like that. I thought it was gonna be like that, not like this. You didn't. I doubt that you did this like this with Andrew, Steven,
I did.
Jay,
That's
or
how
your homie Eddie. That's a little odd, my boy. But I'm glad to be here with
that's
my
odd, bro.
brother Marvin. I'm glad to be here with my brother Marvin.
How is that fucking odd, bro? That's literally okay. So on the first episode of the Best Average podcast, and the second and the third,
yeah.
it just starts like they join the call, and then I'm like, "Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Best Average podcast." And they're like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, that's it. So you're the only.
No, I get that, but I thought that's like
You're the only.
I thought that's literally like you do the meeting and then you tell them, oh, okay, cool, you're here, and now I'm gonna start recording, and then like something like that. I would never do it like this, but I mean, that's cool too, homie. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
maybe that's a lack of communication from beforehand. Like, oh, hey, as soon as I send you the invite to the Zoom, then that's when the show starts. I didn't realize.
Well, I think it's just that me as the host, bro, I'm like, yo, welcome to the Best Average podcast. And then all the homies have been like, yeah, man, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been waiting a long time to be on the show. It's been an honor and a privilege to be on the show with you, Mr. Marvino, my friend, my love, my light, you know, and like, that's it, bro. I didn't know that was going to like impact you that fucking heavy, bro.
No, I get that. It's not impacting heavy. It's just like, I guess, taken off guard. That was less comfort and more off guard. Because I didn't get notice beforehand that the send of the link of the Zoom is also the start of the show. That's not clear, baby. That's not clear.
I mean,
that's only clear to you.
The part that I edit is like, you know, when they join, I edit up to that part because it's recording like when I start it. So once
All right.
join, that's like I cut into that part. So so that's what that's about. But welcome, bro. Welcome to the Best Motherfucking Average podcast on this one.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to be here, Marv. We're starting the show now like a normal show. But other than that, Marv, well, so what have you been talking with Random about on the show? And you're drinking another Michelada, I see.
Well, before we even get into that, Mr. Frankfurt, Frank Dominguez, because I'm gonna tell you what we're talking about, but I just want to make sure people who are watching this know who you are. I mean, our audience will know who you are, and you're an anticipated guest, Frank. So please don't fuck this one up for me. Make this a good one for me, Plank. Please, Plank. And Random, our homie Random in Oregon, shout out. He's working on a cover for the internet demo following the logic on Instagram. This guy like really wants that song. Like I put out a video of it, like a little Instagram video post or whatever of that song, like the demo. But he posted like, bro, I really need the song. Put this up already. It's been a year, so he's gonna make a cover so we can put it on.
Oh well, that's great. Fucking, you know, I've always thought that Random should also be on here. I'm sure that's gonna happen, of course, and I hope so that it's gonna happen soon. So that's like a good introduction. I dig that. Like an introduction to if he gets on the fucking show. I mean, if he wants to, that's his choice.
Yeah, I mean, what's happening right now is that people like they're seeing the podcast and like you know, because I'm asking people if they want to be on, and they're like, I don't know, I'm kind of be,
Yeah.
but then after they see the episodes, they're like, you know what, Marv, actually, you're like a good listener, and like, honestly, like after watching that shit and like just hearing you like talk to people, like I kind of want to be on there now. So that's kind of what's happening right now. Because even random, the homie was saying
Yeah.
bullshit. So that's what's happening right now.
Well, I wonder what people will think after this one,
Who
if you
knows?
know what I mean.
Who knows, bro? I mean, the you just why did you do that? Yeah,
What do you mean? Look, it's harmonica.
I know that.
Well, I guess I do want to say that I don't know other people's views about me, but I will say that how I observe how I've navigated through my presence online, I can be, what's the word, polarizing. Like I could be polarizing, or maybe I've been polarizing before, but I still think that there's probably a quality of that.
Well,
So I'm excited for this fucking episode. I
give
mean,
the
you know,
people some
I think
context, then, Frank. You're my brother. You know, you've been my brother
yeah,
for all of your
all
life.
our lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm older than you, so you're younger than me. And
Hell
we're
yeah.
both like what, internet personalities, kind of. And you
A
were,
little bit.
what you mean a little bit, bro? Like, how the fuck is it a little
I
bit?
mean, what are we, dog? Are we like crack.com?
I think I'm like, I don't know, bro. It's hard to tell because
Yeah.
like I have a lot of fun on the internet, and then uh but then on the inside, bro, there are tears of shame, bro, you know. So that's the thing about it. So why is that funny?
I'm laughing not because it's at your pain, but because I identify so much, my brother Marvin.
Told you some shit.
But I think on top of all that, we've also been working on music for a great portion of our lives individually. I mean, you know,
No, it's
apart from each other,
fucking
right?
bullshit. It's such bullshit to be making music, bro. Like straight up. You know, podcast shit, like nobody, like all the podcast episodes get like more views than the music, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about the music. I'm gonna have to switch to a different.
Maybe.
No, maybe, bro. Like,
Well, I mean, I'll just say this right now because we both have SoundClouds. That's where I would say that we started uploading shit apart from like maybe MySpace
yeah,
shit that's not relevant no more. But
yeah.
you've gotten like thousands of views on songs or listens on songs on like SoundCloud and shit. I've had like 900 views on like one song I've seen.
More like
I don't remember what.
3,000, Frank. Put some respect on the name, bro. Put some fucking
Yeah,
respect
yeah.
on it, bro. Yeah, but that was days ago, bro. Like that shit doesn't
No,
happen.
yeah, I get that.
That shit does not happen no more, bro. Fucking figure that one out. And it's understandable because, like, who gives a fuck? Like, nobody cares about people's music, bro. And why should they? Who cares about people's music?
Do you prefer the video medium more than the music medium then? Because you're still making music, my boy.
Yeah, but that's just because I have to. Like, you know what I mean? I can't just stop making music. What do I prefer? Um, what I'm liking about the videos is it's super easy and quick. Like, you know, because I can just like put out videos quick and like hit them with it nasty, bro. Like that's the cool thing about doing videos so far. With music, like I have to like fucking be sad and like depressed, and then like fucking want like
But
try to
yeah,
cry, and then like I can't, you know. So you know, like so that's the biggest difference on that one.
damn, Marv, I guess that's the blues. Um, no, but for real though, I don't think that that's necessarily true. I mean, yeah, whenever you hear like maybe some tweet pop like flamboyant thing from somebody, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of like not realistic. Sure, that could be off-putting, but you can make music out of like a positive feeling, or like just wanting to do shit because it's like an interest. I think that's why anyone is still a musician, right? Because it's like some peak interest of a sense we can like comprehend and also interact with. I see you're also holding the Jack Link's beef jerky or whatever that brand was. I'm not gonna insult you if it isn't Jack
Shahoon?
Link's.
The Shahoon? Um, no, Frank, that's bullshit. Because anytime, like right now, I'm like good, and if I tried to write a song right now, bro, that shit would be whack. Like most of the time, when I'm like good and I'm trying to make music, that's when that shit is fucking whack, bro. That shit is
Really? Because I feel like I'm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I can't tell anybody what they think about it because I haven't even put much stuff out, just like little sparse things. But I feel like I'm doing stuff that I feel more proud of than ever before than shit that I was doing just because I was sad, not because I'm in any better like position really. Like if you know and anybody that knows me, I'm just at the fucking folks back. But I feel like that I have a better understanding of what I want to do with the music and the shit that I like with sounds and like stuff in music that music can talk about. Like I put that down and now I feel like, oh, I have something more cohesive than that. But I mean, that's up to you how you feel about that too, because it's surprising to me because your shit sounds so happy and
I
my
know it
shit
does.
sounds so goddamn depressing. Like my shit is like so noisy and yours is like so clean and like actually like a song.
Yeah, you're not. That's not the first time I'm hearing that, Frank. And like, I don't know what to say about it because it's true,
Yeah.
but I think it's in the lyrics, bro. When you hear like the lyrics, that's when you're
Oh
like,
yeah, I feel it.
yeah,
It's
like,
like outcast kind of thing. Like hey ya. Like everyone thinks it's happy, but it's actually really a depressing fucking song. If you listen to it.
I've heard that, but I've never read the lyrics. So,
It's like a loss of self. Like I mean, I could bring up the lyrics if I want to. I'll probably do it in a bit, but not right now because I'm still smoking this bowl, and you're eating Jack Link's beef jerky. But hell yeah. But what's it talking about? Oh yeah, like I think that makes sense. Like artists are kind of I don't know if to say insane, but there's always some element of like I guess a pain, a madness, or a sadness that's why somebody becomes an artist, be it painting, music, whatever the fuck they're doing, media.
hmm that's why. That's why. Which one do I prefer? I don't really have a preference. I'm loving them both so far. They've both been really fun. But as far as like the investment of time versus um like that little dopamine hit when people watch it, definitely videos so far is having the edge on them.
Wow. All right, for sure. I mean, I'm sure that varies for everybody because of the effort put in too, or like the reward that comes in given the effort put in.
Again, bro, nobody gives a fuck about anyone's music. Why should they? You know what I mean?
I guess if they choose to, if there's the audience that wants to be there, that's really what it's about. But I don't think it's a point of contention to think about because it's just one of those things that it's going to be there for some reason. For whatever reason, civilization has gone ahead and um, decided music is a thing. I don't know. Like, how did it come up? Cavemen, like, hitting bones and shit? Like, screaming and shit? Like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck do I say about that? But it's there. Yeah. Like, they're like, oh! It's a song about how they're going to pillage and rape the next village. See, that rhymes. Maybe that's what they sing about.
This next song is called
Yeah. That's why we have nowadays. It's just a callback to that. That's like nowadays hashtag to culture, but in genes that follow through over
That's like
time.
TikTok, bro.
What?
That's gonna be the next big TikTok, bro. We're gonna put
Oh
like
yeah, like cavemen.
yeah, do like a caveman writing music TikTok, and we just put this.
I think it makes sense that might progress from this, given that TikTok is a Chinese surveillance platform, just like Zoom is. What up, Zoom?
Are they both?
I think I get tired of that.
If they want my
No, I mean that's what people report. I don't know.
my social security is 606.
I laugh just because like I know that it's not for real serious, but sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I gotta wonder on these platforms with these kind of shows, because they very much blur between the reality and also what might be just for the show. Not saying that this is a show, but I'm saying that you know what I mean. Like when you take on the mindset of recording something, like you're taking on this performance like frame of mind. Or maybe I don't know, maybe that's not it for you.
You think I'm performing, Frankfurt? You think this is a fucking? You're my brother, bro.
I don't think that you're performing as a person. I think that when people start recording shit for venues or for like platforms online, that what, you don't want to be entertaining, dog? You don't want to talk about something, interesting? We all want to talk about something that has value, maybe.
Who fucking knows, bro?
You know?
What else is there? What's interesting anyway? Like, there's nothing interesting, bro. You feel me? Like,
is there nothing interesting?
Hell no.
I dig it. If there's nothing interesting, then I question why Andrew and Steven were on the first 2 episodes. But I'm just making that as a joke because they're kind of like apathetic people. But, they're great people.
It's just talking to people, bro. Like, that's really all this is about. So,
Let's be clearing the pipe.
It's just like, which reminds me, blaze a fat one too here real quick. So
yeah, I noticed. That's why I brought that. Not only because like that's what I do, because I haven't drank. I haven't drank for like 3 years, as you know, Mark. But I'm also
good job on that one too, Frank.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Fucking sick one for a minute, bro, and I was too, man. It's come up pretty much every episode. I was starting to get on the sick one when it came to the alcohol on that one. I pretty much had to stop fucking slow down, man, because I was starting to like lose grip with reality, bro. Like that shit starts to like just be all crazy and shit, man. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I know. You seen it?
Yeah, and it's quote unquote fun, but damn, it really like becomes like your life kind of, really easily and quickly if you just like let it. So so good on you if you haven't been drinking that much. Even on Steven's episode, that was like, yeah, I had to slow down my drinking. So,
yeah, I remember he was telling us about that, and like, I mean, I get concerned, even though we all kind of like joke around a little bit, or a lot of bit, or however much you might say, or you think I'm performing, nigga? But I'm glad for Steven, I'm glad for you, and I bring it up because everybody's been drinking on this fucking show, so I'm gonna be the one to set the precedent of the smoke.
Well, dude, like you go fucking insane when you drink, man, and you're already insane, pretty much, basically, on that one.
Aren't we all? Shit. Or I mean, at least our group of people that we know.
We have a community of homies that we have like a little chat with, who are fucking sick ones with it, bro. Like they're musicians, they're crazy ass people, they're artists. I love them a lot. Shout out to them if they're watching, if they even get this far, which who knows at this point on that.
Yeah. Who knows? And I mean, it's a community, but it's like, what, 2 chats that like follow from your page? Because there's Babbel, and then there's ISS, which is strange. Shout out to ISS, shout out to Babbel, if they even give a fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good point. I don't even. So yeah, you're right. We have a Facebook chat and an Instagram chat. The Facebook chat is called Bible Chat. It started off as Bible Chat, but you didn't like the name Bible Chat, so it became Babel Chat. And you're trying to pretend like you call it Babel Chat because it just has Babel, not like a play on Bible. But
it's not a play on Bible because you also have the next album coming up too, and you brought this up on a previous podcast. Shout out to Jay's podcast, I think it was, looking at the camera. But no, the whole Bible thing, you're right. Like, because it's not like a Bible chat. It's not
Well,
like a
give
Bible
some
study.
context. So on the Jay episode, Jay brought up, we started talking about Bible chat, and I mentioned that, yeah, that was previously Bible chat, but we changed it so that Frank would stop leaving you. You're Frank.
Yeah.
Stop leaving
Well,
the
I
chat.
changed it after I left, and you brought me back in, and then I said, oh, because you mentioned some shit like your games will not work here, Frankfurt, and then like a Shakespeare play, I was like, games, and then I changed the title from Bible to Babel. There will be no games in Bible chat, only in Babel chat. But I mean, really, I was just making a comparison of the chat instead of the Bible, because I don't think that's like actually a focus. That's just like a spiteful like little joke, you know?
Yeah,
Like I changed it more like it's Babylon, because there's like a whole complex of like discussion of like Eastern beliefs and like, you know, other occult type of shit.
yeah.
Shout outs to anybody that likes that kind of stuff that's watching this. They're probably not, other than, you know, people that we talk to.
So there's so there's Babel chat. And to just tie that back to the reference of the Holy Bible Part 2, the album that Internet, our band, is working on,
Yeah.
you're okay with that title, but you weren't okay with Bible chat. And then, so that's on Facebook. And then on Instagram,
Right.
there's the International Space Station, which was, I don't know who, I think I started that one too, but it was the name of our Rocket League team.
Yeah, I noticed that, because that's what Random and Chris do. Chris, our brother, that
Chris
is on the ISS.
Random, the homie who started off as your homie, who
Yeah.
now my homie and Chris's homie.
Exactly.
And he started off, like, you met him in the internet online community.
Right, because before any of this, which I guess you could say is now part of the greater SB music scene, which we'll get to that. But before this was the Null thing, which I started, which was a chat and also a group. And I started because I became exiled from this other thing called the Moo Group on Facebook. Shout out to the Moo Group. I used to shit on it, but I mean, I could give a fuck anyways anymore. I guess it's like based off like this board off of 4chan that, I mean, I used to be on, but like, who gives a fuck about that anymore? Like, the internet has grown beyond that. Like anything, like being at certain websites and shit.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And so I got exiled from there. I started the Null thing. I got like, you know, like compatriots from this Moose stupid bullshit, like as a joke, but also like just because, like they might as well be in the group.
Yeah.
Then and then we got here.
Help set some context, because yeah, there was a there's obviously the biggest board website probably to this day, 4chan. And there was a little group on 4chan, or a big ass group on 4chan called Moo. And then there was a group on Facebook that was a subset of that same 4chan, or whatever you want to call it. And you stole that group, or you like took people away from that group to join yours.
I think I started becoming like a notorious kind of figure in the Facebook group, just because there was this whole thing, much more convoluted, too much to go into, about like this Oslo Zimmerman guy that somehow got control of the Moo group. And then like I was calling that shit out, a whole bunch of people were calling it out.
Yeah.
That
Like
I became contentious in the group. I got banned, and then people were like, free Frank or some shit like that. I don't know. Hashtag free Frank. If Random gets an episode, he can talk more about it in his shit, because that's how I met him. He was a part of that. And then before that even, I saw he posted a post on the group about like some music or something like that he found somewhere, or I don't know, like I think it was some thread about like, what music have you found that you never knew about? And then it was some shit from his parents, I think his dad. And then I messaged about that. We connected off of that. He was a part of that thing. that group started, the null thing, which then, we did null AM. All of that dropped. So now we're here with ISS and Babel, which is now part of the SB music scene, which you have gone ahead and invaded and usurped successfully. Cheers.
Well, but you're skipping ahead so much. So hold on a second. Like you're really like skipping 8 years and shit. It sounds like in this entire
No,
game.
yeah, it's a long ass time.
So it's like, hold on, we have to hang on a second here. Like because you're just going to, like, the null AM thing is like, no, nobody knows the null. Like, let's take a step back here. You had so you were on 4chan in Moo, and then there was a Facebook group also called Moo, based off of the 4chan group called Moo.
Right.
You were banned off of this 4chan group called Moo. Why were you banned
Yeah.
for it? You didn't even explain that. You're saying you were a notorious figure. What does that mean exactly?
Right.
But you were banned, and then Random, who was on this call earlier, the homie, made like a Free Frank thing, and somehow all of that kind of took off, and you started your own group on Facebook called Moo Null, that
Yeah.
that grew into its own group of friends that continue to be with us to this day, right?
Well, that's about it, right? Because like the whole Moo group thing, I think it's just a little bit too much to go into this episode, just because that's kind of its own arc that follows its own chronology of stupid bullshit that happens on the internet that for some reason people care about seriously for no other reason than that's what they spend their efforts on. But
Yeah,
I just,
but I guess why isn't that interesting? Because, like, dude, I have been in message boards since I was
yeah,
13 years old, or less than that. Like, before there was even 4chan or etc. There was like GameFAQs, Game FAQs, GameFAQs.com,
right,
GameFAQs.com, and before that there was obviously all kinds of boards, but GameFAQs.com is where I started, where there'd be like message boards, and there'd be like social message boards. And there was one message board called Life, the Universe, and Everything, that was like probably an early version of like just a shit post, like board where there's no rules basically, and so it's just chaos. And as life, and so Life, the Universe, and Everything was always out of control because people were just always shit posting, and and everybody in that, I think, would have been like 13-year-olds at the time. So as you know these people grew, like eventually, and then like Life, the Universe, and Everything gets slammed down on. Eventually it shot off into a private board, like its own website called Lou Links.
yeah,
That, and Lou Links had LUELANKS, had like links to mega upload stuff, just of all kinds of stuff, like crack games and music and videos, movies, porn, all just whatever you wanted, sort of like illegal shit. Well, all of this was illegal shit, I guess, but like
yeah,
pedophile shit, like um, it was on there, and then like the owner of that started having a crackdown because Mega Upload got destroyed. But there, like Lulinks was all chaos. It was like totally private. You could not get in there without an invite, so, which I think was a little bit like Something Awful was another large forum at the time. I don't even know what happened to Something Awful now that I'm thinking about all that. And so my point is, there's probably an entire, like, this might be in history books. I was going to say books won't exist in the future. They probably barely exist now, but there's this whole trajectory that if somebody wanted to make a documentary of like the evolution of the internet, I think they could, because there's all these forums, and like memes came out of like forums, and like like at one point stuff that was going viral was because of forums, because people would spread around like the stuff from Something Awful, or like as 4chan was down the road from that, I think. Private boards like end of the inter.net, where like a few years ago, like people were just calling each other dad, or like saying things like you know, saying things like "I'm gay," you know, like just
Yeah.
saying that, you know, and like that shit was fucking funny at the time, and it's still funny to me, to be honest with you. But I think as we all grew, like that all has kind of stuck. And now I'm a 32-year-old, and we're in a group of like 20, 20 to like 30-year-olds or close to 30 or whatever
Yeah.
that are still a little bit, um, still a little bit of that same spirit, you know, even though like many of us have jobs now and are like adults, like so yeah, no, there's a shitload of stuff to unpack within all of that. I don't even know how we would get into all of it, because I'm sure you could like zoom into some of it and then that can go on um, for a long ass time. So I guess for the purposes of this podcast episode, it might even be interesting to just track the trajectory of how we even came to now be on a podcast together, because it's not like that was ever the intention, and now here we are.
This isn't a shroom trip, baby. We're just talking about. We're not those boards, my brother. We're like, smaller facets of like whatever those boards are. Sure, we carry the same energy, but like, what? Am I gonna be on like a fucking documentary, like giving my testimony about like, oh, I saw like 4chan back in 2008 go on have a hotel and fucking do like pools closed. Like, what's pools closed, homie? And like, like I don't know. I think we're like people that surf the web of these larger communities and boards like Rate Your Music or Last FM, which a lot of us have been on. And like maybe you could also explain, like with GameFAQs, the reason you would even find the Lou board was because like who's gonna go on GameFAQs other than to get like a walkthrough,
Yeah,
unless you want to like talk shit in the forums,
yeah,
like you saw forum, you want to talk shit, yeah.
well, you looped into the forums because you would go each game. So GameFAQs, you're right, was a walkthrough website. You would go on there to get cheat codes and like walkthroughs that were authored by members of the GameFAQs community. And so each game had its own forum. And so there'd be games that were obscure that had like secret forums. Like people would pick an obscure game to start a secret board in that was like not moderated because nobody went on the boards. And so that's kind of where the concept of like a secret board, I think, um,
Yeah.
came from. So I remember being in like, part of like the obscure games like ZTAC or something. I don't remember if that there's like a game called ZTAC, and so that was a like somebody found that board and made a community out of it. And so the boards would be like factions, and there'd be like faction wars between secret boards, and like
Yeah.
the board,
Yeah, yeah.
like they would have like their own like hierarchies, you know what I mean? And like I was a part I was a part of
That's
all that,
fucking
bro. And like the
yeah.
boards would have like if you were part of a board, you would have like a signature, like you might have a ZTAC signature that had like all of the little like special characters or whatever. So um so so yes, we were. That is a part of history in a fucking like way that nobody gives a fuck about.
I think it's funny though because, well, okay, two things. Because the first thing is like the beginning question, like around this episode. One of, anyways, is or at least the beginning statement is nothing is interesting. And then as I'm going into this community thing, because the mood board shit, like I was just kind of being contentious to whoever took control of the group, who later, as it turns out, the original creator of the Facebook group somehow got control back of the group after having given it to somebody, and then they left,
It,
but then they saw it private. Like, it's a whole thing, Marv. I'm not gonna explain that.
it was the
This would then be 4
punishment.
hours instead of 2 hours. Huh?
Well, we'll probably have to be to 1 hour because my housemates don't like it when I. But I didn't
I
say
know.
that. But Um, so yeah, no, I get it. Like, I'm not saying to just dive deep into all of it, but we can't just gloss it over either and like skip 8 years, because so you had your own group called Muno, which was like a basically a Facebook group, so it's kind of a forum. And from there, you met a bunch of people who are now still our internet friends. And
Right.
nowadays, like, because we're now older, like we still talk a lot, but we probably shit post a lot less and just more. But I don't know. We still do a lot of like stupid shit because you keep saying this,
Right.
but you just took over the Santa Barbara music scene.
But I
Group.
guess that's a good segue to just my second point before we go into that. That it's interesting to me how all of this is just evolving from us being on those kind of platforms, while meanwhile those platforms existing at all, especially up to nowadays with like Reddit and like Facebook groups and all this shit, like those are merely offshoots of like things that existed beforehand that were on like Usenet or shit like IRC.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just a facet of human society, right? Everybody needs a
Com-
forum, like a literal forum, like we're in Rome or some shit. No.
Yeah, because before there would have been like internet forums. There would have been like what, like
Malls?
yeah, like bulletin board.
Oh, baby, yeah, that's why they're all gods.
Yeah, like people would go to the fucking mall and like hang out. I mean, but people have been. No,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
there'd be like the town square, like, yeah, that's right. So people just need to be able to band together, and that's why, like, even in the game facts forums with those secret boards, like they would have like hierarchies. Like, there was even a board like that was based on, like, I think it was called like Rabbit, like the game was called like Rabbit Train or something, and so that was what the faction was called, and so people would have like rabbit titles. You know what I mean? Like there'd be like lieutenants and like Lieutenant Furball and like shit, like, I don't know, like just shit like that, bro. It was fucking like, I don't even know if there's anyone who's a historian of all of that shit. But yeah, all of that is now probably snowballed a little bit into where we are today, because invading of message boards, like, that was a thing. People would go on message boards and just like flood them with posts. Like, you remember Goatsy? And like,
Fuck, I know.
what was at the
Shit.
time known, the Unholy Trinity, I think it was, with like this. It was this picture Goatsy of this guy like bearing his asshole like really wide open. There was Tub Girl, which was like a fat lady in a tub, like just shitting.
Shit. Like linking that to somebody as an attack on their like just their computer screen, because
It was
who knows where they might.
Yeah, because they'd go like on a forum for like, I don't know, like wellness or something, and just like post a bunch of
Yeah.
ghosted Harlequin. Harlequin fetus is the last one I was gonna say, which was
Uh,
like a fucking like a baby that's born with like this lizard skin illness where they have really dry skin, and it's so
yeah.
so so these were like forum invasion. These were weapons that would be used
Yeah.
by these kids that are part of forums to attack other forums and stuff. Um, so that really hasn't changed up until this day. And maybe I'll set some context here where now, like, I think I'm still influenced by all of this stuff, and like wrestling and shit like that, because here I am, like, what am I using this podcast for? It's like a forum to talk to people, but also um, give a context to, I guess, different things that are happening, because recently I started putting out videos to confront more like the community that exists here in Santa Barbara, and just like the people within it who are just like not that core to me, in my opinion. But I also don't just want to go, like, I don't want to like just send them Harlequin fetuses. I want to have like actual
Yeah.
criticism and like pointed, fair uh, topics of discussion, along with just fun stuff like stealing a group from one of the people who I've been criticizing, Gabe from the Santa Barbara music scene. So
Hell yeah.
there's so much to work backwards from there too. So it's like, how do you
Well,
even?
I mean, you made like a well, not really that you've made a video. You've uploaded a video that random as he was earlier on the show, having a talk with you, doing creative stuff for you, and I mean, having a different business relationship with you before that, anyways. Which I mean, I don't know if you got into that, anyways. I don't know. That's your decision. But like, so he's wait, hold on. What the fuck were we talking? Okay, the group. He helps you there with like getting that shit. He also records this video like totally ragging on this fucking fool that like in the SB music scene. Well, I guess he's his own point of contention, right? Because he's doing like weird shit that if you'd like to explain, you can explain if you want to. But like, so there's that video. Maybe that's a little context. People that watch this that know him, maybe they know a little bit more about it than me. Of course, you know about it more since you were in the group even before any of what this operation is that I'm gonna call an operation. Like you're Solid Snake in Metal Gear. Like you're actually Solid Snake now. From Metal Gear Solid 2. That
Well,
whole storyline. No, but yeah, like you got that shit with Andy
random.
from this fool.
Yeah.
Just random, I call him Andy because that's how I met him. Like he has like a pseudonym kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now this is your community, Marvin. It's your fucking like this is yours to commandeer.
It's our community,
Yeah.
Frankfurt. We've all built something together, bro. I think what
Oh,
just
thank
so
you.
happened is that for whatever reason, I started to get like a different kind of different kind of spark to start just making moves. I guess that's like nobody gives a fuck about these moves, but maybe just to rewind from all of this. So in Santa Barbara, we have this person named Gabe. Gabe is he's like this metalhead who he lives in a house that he's branded Crowded Coffin. And Gabe has been a part of like this entire community here for a long time. Longer. I think. Well, just for a really long time. I'll just leave it there because previously in Santa Barbara, like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, there was like a metal community here. Like there was like I think a lot of metal bands. There was like more of a rock community. Like rock was just a lot more popular back then. And so this was a guy who he had, I think he would throw parties at his house that were like big parties. He would have a lot of friends because he would throw these big parties. And just like was a prominent person in the community. This was before I even knew about any of this stuff. So, and I was probably in the community around the same time, like just starting to do my own band, Intranet or whatever. But I don't think I was ever involved in any of what this guy was doing. So this is just to give you context of this person. I probably met him, I want to say around 2 or 3 years ago. And when I met him, like the way that I was introduced to him as, it's like, hey, here's this guy who's like always throwing sick parties and like he could be good for your band. We should make friends with him because he could be really helpful to everything we're doing. Is that Wizard?
Yeah, it's Wizard. It's because I think my mom's back or something. Because again, not the folks back.
Yikes.
I think she left the key. I think that's what happened.
You want to go grab that real quick?
So hold on. I'm going to go ahead and lift the camera up. You go ahead and keep giving your, like,
well,
I guess,
to hear it.
sort of,
So it's okay. Yeah, this is the Best Average podcast. And, what so far is interesting about this episode is Frank is the first guest that I have had. Frank is my brother. He has his name chexquest game, and he has music under the name FM33, although maybe not anymore. Frank makes like pretty crazy like electronic music, but anyway, what's been interesting about this episode is that he was really off-put by the way it started, because I guess he was not expecting me to be recording from the very beginning. I was like, you got to tell people this one, man. I was like, wow, I haven't told anyone about it yet. So Frank, so it looks like you're back.
Yeah. Keep going though, because there's like a whole bigger thing about this Facebook group takeover.
Yeah, so that was just Gabe. He's this person who throw with he would throw big parties. Um,
Yeah.
People, he had a lot of friends, quote unquote. Um, and and I met him 3 years ago. And he was brought to me as this person who is like, hey, we should be friends with this person because he could really help the band and like get us on 6 shows at his house and stuff. He throws these big parties and so me being the and there's a whole journey here too, but the person that I was becoming, that is like really learning the vision that I have for the band, etc. When I met him, I was like, okay, cool. This is a cool person. But over time, like I started to learn just how much of a kind of a snake he is. In the sense that like I would just start to learn from people of ways that he would screw them over, like out of money, for example, or do things like you know have people be drunk and then up the rent on them, like hey man, like like just kind of convince them to pay more on rent when they're really drunk, or just different things. um,
Wow.
he uh so anyway, just different, more like financial things. Like if you ever go to his house, like he'll undoubtedly ask you to bring him something, and like he's the kind of person that just always really guilt trips you if you don't want to do something for him, like come on man, what the man, like kind of thing, like and so anyway, just through time and like little things, I learned that he is like a brat, basically like a 30-year-old brat who doesn't work, who has people pay his bills, basically, and who just isn't the kind of person that at this point in my life that I want to be around. Anyone who is just kind of always looking to scheme and scam people and like not holding up his end of the deal. Like even with our band, like our drummer paid him to take photos of us, and we did not. Like he was supposed to take way more photos than he did, and we paid him like $300, and he ended up giving us like very few photos, like 10, or something like that. They were good photos, but just like the way that just the way that he operates, he charges people for videos, but then doesn't really follow through on them. He kind of they come out okay, but just the follow through on them takes a long time. He's like just really lazy about it and needs to be pushed a lot. So just different things. I've heard stories about, and none of these are all like criminal things, right? They all just start to like show these like a brat. He's basically a brat. Like when he was younger, like I don't know. I heard a story of like his mom made him nachos or taquitos, and he had friends over, nachos actually, and he had or he made nachos and he had friends over, and then like one of the friends was like, "Hey, can I have some?" He's like, "Get your own nachos," just different things like that. His mom comes to his house and like cleans, and like his mom comes to his house and makes some taquitos, and you know um gives him ride to places, like just all of these different things. Like people kind of cover his rent. He doesn't, because he doesn't have a job, so like the people are living in the house like kind of subsidize his rent a little bit. Like he has people come over to his house and like clean up his backyard while he's just in the back smoking cigarettes. Just all kinds of different things like that, and like so just to paint this picture. So and I just learned all of these things over time. But how I started to get closer and closer to working with him is before I even just had all of these things just now totally coloring my impression of him. Like he had this idea of like wanting to start this this website called Santa Barbara Music Scene, and I was like, okay, well that's cool. Like I want to be involved in more things like this that might become a way of like growing a community, etc. So it's supposed to be this website where people can go on to see what shows are happening in the area, etc. But he never did shit in it. Like people just come to his house and he'd basically be there smoking cigarettes while other people are not doing shit either because no one's really leading it. And so through that, like when all of this was happening, whatever amount of years ago, maybe 2 years ago now, like there was ideas that I had where it's like, hey, there's this whole group. This is what they took after called Santa Barbara Music Scene that already had a bunch of people. Like that's basically where they took their name from. Santa Barbara Music Scene Facebook page versus Santa Barbara Music Scene Facebook group. They were two totally separate things. And I brought out the idea knowing that both existed and knowing like what they were doing to try to link the two groups together. So that's how I ended up getting admin to a group called Santa Barbara Music Scene that I recently took with our friend Random, who was at the beginning of this podcast episode. So that's kind of so it's been a 2 year hijack in the making because I was added to a group and made an admin of it when I reached out to this group and say, hey, we have this page that we're growing and it'd be great to link the two together so that we can have it be a thing that's working together to help promote the music scene in Santa Barbara. But again, none of that went anywhere. So just as I, eventually I like stopped going to the meetings and I just kept learning more about Gabe, and learned to, I guess, resent the guy is probably the best way to put it. Just resent the guy because I just resent the kind of person that just kind of takes advantage of people that fucking explicitly, I suppose, and like acts kind of like a baby. Like again, there's just all kinds of different things there. And so through this resentment, I think I've had to like find creative ways to express that resentment in what I'll just say is a healthy way, you know what I mean? Because there's no talking to this person and be like, hey, grow up, man. Like become an adult, don't just take advantage of people here. So I didn't go that direction because he doesn't listen to that, has been my experience. So instead it's things like a video that our friend Random makes where he's parodying Gabe from Santa Barbara Music Scene's puppet show, where he has like a puppet for his YouTube channel called Buddy, and this puppet is the spokesperson for his YouTube videos. He'll have guests on, and so we saw this compilation of Buddy, the puppet, and Random had the idea of because it's a puppet, just kind of having the puppet like instead of like an actual puppet, just its hand. He's like, hey guys, so long-winded way of coming to that's the context for a recent action where we stole a Facebook group that was linked to a page owned by Gabe called Santa Barbara Music Scene, and it is now our group to help revive and make a community out of, because that group was totally dead, completely.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting to hear about this story. I want to know about where you found that story, like where you heard that story about like the nachos or taquitos or whatever, like just like this bratty kid like telling others, no, get your own.
Well,
He's the same person now,
Well, without naming names, our guitarist Steve-O, his brother,
Could you already say Steve? I mean, it's his brother, but it's like Okay.
Without naming names, Steve Pratt, the guitarist of Internet who lives in Oakview, uh, his older brother was like really good friends with Gabe. And Gabe still really loves his older brother, but his older brother doesn't fuck with Gabe. And so that story comes from him.
Mm.
And like other things, he like tries to. He's the kind of guy that if he has like a beef with you, he'll try to turn other people against you, which
Very petty, very
you know,
spiteful.
kind of like me too. But I think but I think I end up doing it when I see things like that happening, or when I hear of people who are like that, because it doesn't tend to be for any reason.
Well, he does it because he feels like he's personally wronged in a very selfish, self-centered, superficial kind of way.
Mhm.
I think it's funny to me, but it's also really cool to see this thing go down after like things that he has done that are intrinsically wrong. And I mean, when you see an opportunity to just snatch that shit, fucking why not, baby? Woo!
Yeah,
Hee ha!
that was
Oh, baby, shit.
that was my thinking around it because it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, just like of doing, so
Yeah. And you know, it's kind of cool the dynamic that's happening with just on your own end of what's going down with the channel. Um, a bunch of things, these moves that kind of are directed at people, but at the end of the day are in the name of just competition for, I don't know, the music scene, fucking just attention. I don't fucking know. But like,
mostly because like I don't give a fuck about any of it really, but it's just fun.
yeah,
It's
it's
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I do give a fuck about talking to people, like that is something I really like, but it's just more the
right.
way to end up doing that is for fun. Like, the videos I
Well,
do.
the origin that, being that this podcast has started, and for, I mean, prior reference also, you've mentioned it in multiple episodes. So this is really just a preemptive move from me before you can say, like, this podcast was started because of, like, the Dante Elefante podcast there. Like, I'm not going to go further because that's your decision to do that. But, like, you've made your comments, and you know what? I just want to say right now to Dante from Dante Elefante, because I saw that the original critique video that you did of one of his videos
Yeah.
got taken down. And I didn't expect that to happen because actually I messaged him, but from a sock account called Mark Flores. And, you know, I just wanted to find out more information about what's going on because I would have just hit him up personally if I hadn't known that if I had known rather that he was gonna go ahead and take down the video. I just want to let you know, Dante from Dante Elefante. Shout out to Dante from Dante
I know.
Elefante. I don't appreciate the video being taken down because it was fair use, bro. It was like a commentary on the video, and I mean, your podcast got better because of it, man. That's all I'm saying. No, we've played with Dante before from Dante Elefante. Shout out Dante from Dante.
Shout out. Love you.
Yeah, love you. Um, Actually, podcast got better, and I just didn't expect that to happen. I just want to say that I wish I had just messaged him personally because I think that it was kind of a cool video. I think that the progression of it is all kind of like entertaining, like not just entertaining, but progressive, like as people for everybody involved. Why I say that? I mean, the music scene's got to evolve, and people in the scene should get better with the scene. I don't know.
Well, so yeah, we will touch on that here. That basically, um, you're right. I did start this podcast, and actually, I've even forgotten about that at this point because, Dante Elefante is a local band. Like we started at basically the same time, like Intranet and Dante Elefante
Right.
at the same time. And at
Like way
first,
back
like yeah, way back when, like 2010, 2011, or whatever. And so we were both in Isla Vista, and in Isla Vista, like we started like playing shows in different places, and they were playing shows with us and things like that. And so we were at least friendly, if not friends. But then, you know, his band started taking this trajectory and my band started taking this trajectory. And so we ended up disconnecting. I think, and my band ended up falling apart basically. And there was just like this whole number of years in which I was basically wandering, you know, not having a direction as far as like music. You know, I still had, I never like said I quit internet. Like that was a thing that I purposefully never did. I was like, I'm gonna come back to this at some point. And I don't even know if you remember that, but I always was like, no, it's not. Like I'm gonna come back to this at some point. And I was always like writing stuff, but I was definitely wandering because it was no longer like a live thing. It was just me writing music and recording music and releasing music um, from time to time. So throughout those years, whatever it ended up being, and I was in other bands during that time. You know, which
Well, before all this, it was Otter Pops, right? Otter Pops is
yeah,
back over here.
that's true, but maybe that's less relevant to this. But you're right. Before internet, because we're talking about this Dante Elefante thing, and I just want to set this context for how this podcast started because you're right. It did end up being a response to Dante Elefante's podcast when I would watch this and be like, "Oh, this sucks. I can do better than this." I think I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm good. So through this wandering point, at some point, you know, once I got in a better place in my life, and I was like, I think I'm ready to like, and I really started missing not being in a band. Like that was my own thing because I did other people's bands for a while, and I realized like that shit is not for me. Like I should not be in other people's bands because it just doesn't work for who I am as a person. I started to put this band, so a band for internet together. So that's where I like through Stephen Hendricks, the first guest. Shout out Stephen Hendricks. I met Steve-O, our guitarist, and through Steve-O and I starting to jam, you know, he introduced me to Tommy, who is now our bassist, and then to Jay, who is now our drummer. So at some point we started to have like a band, and that was his own whole story too, because we were drinking a lot of the time, and so we'd be fucking up a lot at practice, and Tommy wouldn't like that. But if you fast forward all that, at some point we started to be like a real band and started playing shows again and started to like have people, I think, talk about us and just started to be a real band again, you know, working on a record and all that stuff. Meeting one of the homies, Alex Gonzalez of Late Bloomers, whose friend Eddie, who plays drums in Late Bloomers and sings, was on the podcast the other day. And come to find out that that you know Dante from Dante Elefante knew, he had to have known because he like reached out to like bloomers and started hitting them up to do stuff and never hit us up, which you know was fine, but you know it also showed that he definitely knew we were back, and that would have meant he purposely did not hit us up to work with him. And he would have known that we're also working with like bloomers. And so for me, that ends up being like, what the hell's going on here? So like he wants to work with the homies, but not with us. That's cool. And, you know, definitely he can do that. But I am no longer at the point in my life where like I'm just letting things like that go. Like, you know, you can call it in a petty way, but I call it in like a competitive way because I'm
Yeah.
trying to like have homies in the community and like do 6 shows and like you know all of this shit. So I can't just let Dante from Dante Elefante fuck around like that on that one. And so me starting to like look at things like that and being like, let me take it seriously and actually like keep it in my mind and without just having a hateful energy, use it like as a competitive motivator. You know, so which ends up coming across petty, like I don't know what I can do about that. That's cool, but it really is just like a competitive thing where I was like, well, what if we did like a whole indie West Coast, East Coast beef? You know, that started to be the thought that I had in my head that could be cool. And so as that thought just continued to bake in my head, it started to lead to stuff like in the group chats that we have been in, which might have been Munol at the time, I don't remember, but was maybe Bible chat already. I don't remember actually. No, it was ISS. I think it was ISS. Um,
Mhm.
I don't even remember actually what chat that was in, but
I can
but we went to like Don Telefonte's podcast and just like would talk shit, you know, or like I think one of the homies made like doctored images of Ruben getting a wee wee in his mouth. Just like the basic forum internet, like just talking like Dante from Dante Elefante wears a white suit when he's on stage, and so this like went onto his photos and like called him a fat Colonel Sanders. So just like all of this like
That's so
internet
cool, dog.
internet bullying shit. Like when this happened,
Yeah.
like you know, like internet e-bullying, like forum stuff basically, but years and years later. And so Dante from Don Telefante ended up messaging me and he's like, hey, why are your homies like, nah, I don't even remember how he knew he was our homie. I think like mutuals or something. I don't remember, but he was like, why are you doing this? And that's basically where I like kind of laid it down on him. Well, here's why, you know, and here's what I think we should do. Like if we do this whole thing together. And by the way, I was feeding him things that he could say about me, like call me crippled, dude. Like call me like a has-been artist. Like just say like make a post, like just saying that man, this fucking loser band who never went anywhere and they suck, like is talking shit about me on the like you know something that makes it feel like real. Like and he didn't want to do it. He was like, no man, I'm super sensitive to that shit. I don't know like you know. So that's and so I told him that's cool. Just know and appreciate that from my perspective, none of that ends up being personal at all. It's just kind of because there's like a little thing there that I can use basically as an opportunity to have fun and entertain and kind of be a brand because it's called internet, you know, and look at the history that we just talked about this entire time. Like I told them basically, okay, but I'm gonna keep pushing with this and you're
Right.
gonna see it. And now that's what you're now seeing is that that thought never went away. And you're my brother, you know how I am. Like when I have a thought in my head, you're the same way. Like you used to be obsessed with Spider-Man, and we'd be like, dude, why are you
Oh
obsessed
yeah.
with Spider-Man? You'd be like, you have to have Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, it's very much like the earlier thing how you brought up with the we brought up the community boards and stuff. Like
Yeah,
I would see you all the time on like game facts and shit, Lulinks,
yeah.
like playing fucking old DOS games and shit. And then like fucking right now, this whole Ruben thing again, Dante from Dante Elefante shout out.
Shout out.
I can't believe you did that to my bro. Like, you know, like it was fair use, homie. It was fair criticism, and I mean it's
Well,
fine
let's take a
actually.
step back from that
Uh,
because yeah, so because I think we just ended up building up towards that. So
yeah, I'm just doing like a promo shooting, spitting out gum right now in the middle of this.
so yeah, well maybe on the podcasting then is yeah I saw he had a podcast and I watched like the Joe Rogan podcast and stuff like that. And you're right. I think that's finally what inspired me to make a podcast because yeah, that's what I was telling people. But I quickly forgot about it because we're already deep. We're already now 5 episodes
Yeah,
in, and I feels like now its own like it just became something for me, I guess you could say. But that's where it started, and so yeah, there's still this like little creative energy of like Dante versus internet thing that is in my head probably more than anything. Although we now have homies who like love it and are involved with it, and like people who are seeing this
yeah.
happen and they think it's funny.
You know, I think that's nothing new really though, Marv, because
I'm not.
even as mentioned before, like not just the community boards, but with your
Yeah,
own like art endeavors, like before you were ever internet, and that's another thing where it's lame that you know you used internet in 2008 9 before this whole bigger internet thing, which we can go into, but um, before that there was Otter Pops, and even before that it was Earth
Big City.
City,
Yeah.
yeah, as it was called, and I mean what were those if not just like a group of people doing music centered with a community of just friends, homies, and shit that just like to laugh at the same kind of bullshit and then like you know like have fun, have jokes and stuff, and then like that evolved from Bakersfield to over there, you know, from here to there in Santa Barbara, where now like you have this 1,000 fucking people group or some shit. You can fucking like maybe more than that. You could go ahead and like fucking connect that to your Facebook page, which you have already done. Now that's your community. You are the SB Music City.
We're the most innovative, groundbreaking rock band in Santa Barbara.
Like just shooting promos right now, baby.
Well, no, we really are, man. Like, you know, because I think just the approach to it is just different than how I think people typically approach bands. You know, it's like,
yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. You know, like I can't give any better words.
It's just more than that.
Hey, you know, as an aside, you ever notice that like with monochromatic harmonicas like this, you could do shit like this. You like Kraftwerk?
No.
You don't like Kraftwerk? Oh man, no, but it's like
I
just
love Kraftwerk, but that doesn't remind me of.
No, it's Autobahn.
Okay.
Yeah, like a vocoder, you know, like you just speak through it like a talk box. But I love it, you know. I love the kind of chaos of it and like having fun with it, and you know, just having a group of people that are just down to make this, I guess, kind of funny, kind of cool, entertaining. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just fun, bro. At the end of the day.
Taking a hit.
Gardening.
Gardening, dog. What about Wed Wobbin Wum?
Well,
You know, this really isn't your like first foray into video anyways. I mean, aside from just the YouTube channel in general, like, you know, I mean, didn't you enjoy Run Baby Run Baby Run Baby Run?
that's
You know,
true.
I've been wanting to find that. I can't find that anywhere. Maybe you know where exactly it's at.
I think you have to
But
search
like
Earth City, Run Baby Run.
Earth City, yeah. So that's why. So because I've just been thinking maybe it's Otter Pops, but yeah, it's probably Earth City. Maybe we could show it. I don't know. But
Oh,
like
God.
that's like a joke song, and like fucking.
Jeez. That song is so bad. Yeah. I think
The video is sick, dog.
the video is fucking horrendous, but let me see if I can find that. And
So for context to everybody, when Marv was out here in Baco during the teenage years and early adult years, before he would go to SB or specifically Isla Vista for college, and then, you know, to further like look into like art pursuits, work, all that, he would have just like stuff that he puts up on MySpace and YouTube just because like fuck it, you know, like music, like maybe you could say their first experiments. Like we all have that. Like we all have beginnings in music just to fuck about and see what we can do.
yeah.
And this is one of them where it's a video of people crip walking. You know, crip walking, a phenomenon that happened around the late 90s, early millennia, based on like the crip walk dance, dance by
By
the
the
Crips.
way, it's called Keep Running.
Keep running. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, but you're right. Like, not even know like how this even came to ever existing because, so yeah, I guess yeah, I've been interested in making music here for a while. I really like it's not
I see the thing. Get out of here, Zoom.
yeah.
Get out of here, fucking Zoom window.
All right, ready? So let's just
Yeah.
so maybe let's just start this, and it's bad, bro. It's not good. It's so deep.
Sitting with my girlfriend at the park. It's 10 p.m., so it's after dark. When I noticed at the corner a cop came to get me, I ran away, but my girl said, come get me. Fuck that, I got out of there. Turned the corner, oh shit, I saw a bear. Held my fist, do I dare? Fuck no, I got out of there. Run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run. Haven't eaten shit since DLG, so I called my mom to come feed me. I ran too much, so I got cramps. For pain like this, I call my grand. Pick up the phone, ring, grab, save me. No, nigga, you ain't no baby. Why you gonna be like that, old bastard? Hope you have a heart attack. Run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run. Run, baby, run, baby, run. Run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run. Run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run. All these bitches be all like mine.
Say that again.
I don't even think the video is like different footage. I think you run a loop, like a loop of the same footage over and over again.
Yeah,
oh,
that wouldn't surprise
I
me.
remember one of my favorite parts of the fucking video, if you could skip to it or find it, is where it's like this break and you end it with like this such cliche fucking like say what, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like a reference to like Clone High. Shout outs Clone High 2001 MTV series favorite.
Yeah. One of my
bros.
Let's
coming
find
back.
Let's just find it.
I can't even go to the park with my girl without being grabbed by the cops and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even fucking get help from my grandpa. Nothing. All y'all motherfuckers, y'all is motherfuckers. I don't even know why y'all gotta be like that. I mean, you ever treat a homie like that, Sam? Nah, never. Nah, that's cause you my dog, right, dog? You a dog, right, dog? Like, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run, baby, run.
I'm gonna share this actually with my homies from college.
Running all the damn time. Why can't I live a life like a lemon or lime? Chilling all day, hanging on a tree. The wind in my hair and feeling so free. Oh well, nigga, I digress. Girl, I just want you to take off your dress. Loving your body with interest. Then lie down, girl, take care of the rest. Hitting that shit with all my might. When my phone rang and I got a fright. Who called someone in the middle of the night? Was like a cock blocking someone who wants to knock it, but I'll knock them out. Get him out the way.
Damn, I'm
Big again, and I find the answers. This is your dog.
Say what?
Nah, nigga, I'm the little bitch, almost got me trained. I don't really want to die. My shoes too clean, my clothes is too fly. My rhymes is so slick, my flow is so tight. That true, Sammy? So until I die, I'll just keep running. Peace out, homies, and don't
yeah, that's true. Okay, that's probably good because I think it just repeats from there. So so exactly like
like, you know, it's not the first time that you do shit just for fun, even though that before it was terrible and not great, but still funny. Now it's great and you know, not just funny, even more hilarious.
that was pretty bad. But you know what's interesting about it, watching it, I don't know, you're doing that, but it's like, is that
It's you know, COVID, social
okay?
distancing.
It's like the way that I'm like rapping, it sounds, the whole song sounds like a really old school like song. But then when I'm listening to myself, I'm like I'm like being lyrical, like kind of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and even though it doesn't sound like I'm a serious rapper, I am actually rapping, which is like, sorry, I was about to say a not nice word. It's stupid as fuck that
Like this thing
but
right
it
now,
means
right?
like, you know, I know the way I write. It's like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, this thing I did right now, it looked like a bootleg ninja costume out of Party City right now. Check it out.
Was that a sock?
No, it's the mask, dog.
I know,
Look,
I know,
they
I'm
have like
kidding.
cloth masks now.
I'm
I
just
wish it was a
kidding,
sock.
bro. Oh,
But there are people that use bras for masks, dog, and I want to make sure it's, you know, it's not a bra.
yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Well, Frank,
yeah,
this episode it turned out to be way more about me than it is about you.
We're talking about history. We're talking about like the stuff that has been happening around us, which involves us and me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm on here not only as a guest, I feel like, but also somebody that can steer the narrative. You know,
So you're
like I
helping to
shot the
establish
promo
it,
earlier.
'cause yeah, I mean, there hasn't been an episode yet that really just kind of more focuses on like the history of the things that are happening right now
Right.
with our band, with this podcast, with how this all came to be, how you, my brother, a musician, also FM33, Chex Quest Music
Yeah, yeah.
now, are even involved in all of this. Like, I guess it is like all snowballing of different
Like
things.
it goes full circle, like the Chex Quest thing. I was even gonna say, like, put that in parentheses in the title. Doesn't matter if you don't. Who cares? Who's
I will.
watching? But like
Copy that.
that's even one thing where like I saw you play that as a kid because you got a fucking like CD from a fucking cereal box.
No, I didn't.
And
That's a false memory.
didn't?
I
You said,
downloaded.
like,
I never did. I always wanted it. And so
that would-
I would I think I ended up like finding it on like abandonware because that game is it's not abandonware as such, but I used to like be really into abandonware. You know what abandonware is? We'll tell it to the people who don't know, but abandonware
Yeah.
are like these games on PC where the publishers wouldn't publish it anymore. Like they're
They
no
wouldn't get
no longer purchasable. But people would like crack them and put them up on abandonware websites, which was illegal, but they were not taken down because the publishers didn't give a fuck. You know, it was a different
Some of
time.
them didn't exist anymore, anyways. Yeah. And
Well, no, because now
like
it's
even
a business and industry.
yeah, and with the Chex Quest thing, you know what happened? Because what we did actually have was not a CD of Chex Quest. We had a CD of Clue that we got from like some other General Mills fucking
I remember
cereal.
that.
But we had Clue. I would play that shit all the time. I loved it. It scared the fuck out of me though. Just like we had Doom on like the PlayStation, and I would see you play that all the time. That's where I would then play the fucking mod, and then you know like a lot of this shit is just like childhood memories and callbacks to things that we like, and now we're just putting it out there as things to do. I guess I don't know.
Well, sounds like I've had a big influence on you then, Frank. If this one actually ended up being more like, what are you talking about? We're saying your
I think it's circular because you know it's
yeah,
it's
circular?
feedback. You know.
Rob. Yeah, that's right. Because all of my internet friends are your friends first.
It's just kind of weird how it gets there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned the tendencies from you, and then it circles back, and now it's circling even further back. But not just that; it's evolved because now you're the SP music scene, baby. Woo! No, I think it's funny. I think it's funny that we could just go through those memories and then just like kind of subconsciously keep repeating that influence, and then it just builds off of each other. It's like Legos. Yeah.
It's all a journey. So
Oh,
then
yeah.
what's next, Frankfurt?
So okay, so with the Chex Quest thing, I know maybe some people have seen, I don't know if you've seen the post on IG yet, but like there's this whole thing right now with a tape and like you know this other page that I'm working with. So I'm gonna put out a tape with Zorch Lord Records is what we're doing, but actually I'm doing it through like Rat Girl Records. I'm just explain like this. Like I'm working with Rat Girl Records to go through Zorch Lord Records. Let's just go like that because the name Chex Quest, you know, there's like a little bit maybe what would you call it? Litigical fucking issues with like brands, checks.
Yeah,
Who
I mean,
knows?
that makes
Who cares?
sense. Like,
So we're doing it through that. But the music on there, I don't know if people know exactly what it's gonna be, because I don't think I've revealed any music from it. At least I've shared demos to people as you know, anybody that knows me or is homies with me knows, and like I've just put out dumbass random clips because they're like little demos of songs.
yeah,
None of those are going to be on it.
right.
It's more like I guess that's one more aspect where it's a reference to like old shit, like back in the day, like
Yeah,
influence, right?
yeah.
So like here, let me just show you right now because this is like I think this is one of the things that I did if I remember right.
Yeah.
Like if you can hear it over the
Okay, I can hear it over that. That's not terrible. Just
and that's a snippet.
that sounds
Huh?
terrible. Share your screen and then share your sound.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, so that probably sounded terrible.
It sounded bad.
Share screen,
Yeah, and then share sound on the top right, the three dots.
host disabled attendee screen sharing.
What?
Zoom's trying to sabotage your operation, homies.
How would I just see? Why would I do that? Let me see. Try it
The
now.
blues, baby.
Try it now.
Let me see. Oh shit. Oh, I hate when I do that. The camera goes off. I don't know why it does that.
That's
but,
okay.
All right.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, now it's sharing. So this is just like a bit of a snippet.
Oh wait, before you do that, share your sound. You have to do that on the three dots on the
Oh
bottom.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see. Okay, so you see the screen. Where do I do it?
It's on the three dots. I can't. Yeah, there you go. Your thing is mirror. So like, let's see. Select the speaker. No. It's on your share screen thing. So like wherever. Let's see. Wherever.
Oh, so I have like
Like the share screen settings, which I'm trying to see on your screen. Do you have settings anywhere?
I'm trying to find that, but I'm not sure. Whoops, I don't mean to show that if somebody's trying to get on the Zoom call. They can't because
That's okay.
by the time this is uploaded, it would
Hold on.
already been done.
I'm looking around your screen.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do this. Hey, look, let me show everybody the desktop here real quick. I just have like a little pixel like background just because I don't know anything better.
It looks good.
But
Well, maybe try playing it and we'll see if your sound is sharing.
oh,
No, there it is.
So new share chat disabled video receiving.
Scroll down.
That's all I got.
Okay, you can't scroll down or anything?
No.
Shit, I think
That's strange.
I feel like there's a part of your screen that I'm not seeing, but maybe there isn't. Like, where would you hit, like, your end share?
Because there's chat, there's this here, and we already see it's disabled video
Not
receiving.
there, sharing the screen.
Maybe if I new share, or I don't know.
Yeah, try new share. Just try it.
Sure. No, I think it just resets me to like trying to share something else. You know what's funny is on the application windows when I tried to go over there, it just detects the browser. I am on Zoom on browser too, though. I'm not using the app. I wonder if that like.
Oh yeah, because I am using the app, so that might be it. Actually.
Damn, that's crazy that did. So you don't hear something like this then. You don't hear that shit over the desktop.
I do. It just sounds garbage, bro.
Oh, you hear it over the mic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, damn, because I wanted to show like a sample of like the music I've done for the cassette, but that would not get the audio on here. Then I do have like this video, like sound application thing that I could probably try. I don't know. Here, you know what? Check this out. Do you still hear me? No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, shit. No, that's a speaker. Shit. Whoops. Then it would be this shit. You didn't hear me right there. Okay.
Yep. That's right.
Maybe I'll just have to like. There'll be new posts soon because I'm just trying to export whatever the fuck is coming out. But let's just say that if you've played the game, you can get it on cassette. You know, like as an exclusive sneak peek phrase, catch, buzzword, synergy.
Great.
But yeah, we'll see that soon. I know you have a cassette coming out soon too. I know that it's probably ready. Jay worked on it, right? Or if it's Alex or Jay.
Alex from Late Bloomers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's ready or not, actually.
Okay. I know that'll be out soon. Not sure if it's ready, but he's talked about that, ordering that. If anyone
Yeah,
wants to
you
get
know,
that.
it's great because we want to do more shit like that. So for sure, but you know, I don't know how it'll be received again. I don't think. Well, I guess Frank, do you want to stop sharing your screen so we can see you again? By the way.
Oh yeah, huh? Fuck. All right. You're just like looking at yourself and shit. Bam.
Yeah, in like super low
Fucking-
latency, and it's fucking weird.
Right. Oh shit, laggy video signal. Oh man, it's just a static of me. Hold up. Is it? Oh man, did my fucking camera just like freeze? That's fucking awesome. Hold up. Do you see it frozen?
I just see a black.
Or do you see? Oh, you see a black screen? Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's weird. I know what to do, but fucking.
Well, you know, that's
Yeah.
probably okay too because it's getting to the point where my housemates would want me to pause. So,
Right.
this is good, Frank. I think if we can find a way to send me the shit so I could promote you, then let me know and we'll put it in the description. There you are.
Yeah. Hey. Yep.
The 5th episode of the Best Average podcast is over. Goodbye.
Goodbye, my friend. I'm gonna leave now. Do I just leave? Does it keep recording?
Goodbye.
Do you stop recording?
Goodbye.
I'm gonna leave.